KCA.
Ocala.
Joe Reichel is here. This is Damage Control. Joe, of course, is with Damage Control Services. He and his guys fix really badly damaged homes, whether it's water, fire, anything. And he's also here on this radio show to help you with the do-it-yourself project. So whether you've got something big that you can't handle or something small that you're trying to handle, if you have a question about it, give Joe a call right now. The number is 622-9622. He's here waving at the pretty ladies out the window. And good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Wonderful. And pretty guys. Yeah. We'll wave to them, too.
Guys. The word pretty doesn't apply.
Well, he was there, so it's kind of funny.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I just got off a roof. I was looking at...
Just got off a roof? Not too many people tell me this.
About an hour ago,
I don't have too many people saying, I just got off a roof.
I was up on a roof looking at a leaking chimney.
Leaking?
Yes. Not every time it rains, and that's the problem. It'll rain, and they won't get water in the house, and then sometimes it rains, and water drips in the house. So...
you mean leaking through the hole that the smoke comes through?
No, it's
through
leaking
the bricks.
from around the stone on the chimney somewhere.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And,
how do you figure that out?
Well, it's I don't know. I was even up in the attic looking at it, and there is definitely some rotten wood up in there, and so there is an issue. Not real sure what it is exactly yet or how to fix it, but we're gonna get someone else out there to take a look at it.
By the way, there was
worst case scenario, we'll have to take the stone off and go from there. But something is definitely wrong with the flashing around the chimney, that it's allowing water to get in.
There was a story this morning. I'm trying to remember where I read it. I can't remember if it was Levy County, but there was a fire in a home, and the house burned very quickly because the house had been was old, and the wood was dry.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't know that could happen. Do you mean the older your house, the drier the wood?
Well, yes, to a certain extent. What happens is the sap that's in lumber continues to dry, and it turns very hard, and will be it's very it's not very flame resistant at that point. It's very flammable.
So you can't replace
the old pine, especially.
Can you replace the wood in your house? It's impossible, right?
Well,
I mean, aside from just tearing off the roof and...
Typically, this isn't a huge issue, though. You don't
worry about it?
No,
You don't spray it with something, the flame retardant stuff or something?
You could.
Is there such a thing as a flame retardant for wood?
Yeah. We've had different applications where we've had to apply...
Oh, really?
A flame-resistant material to, like a spray that you have to spray on wood in order to meet different codes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And
one time we had homes that we were working on down in Orlando. We were building a house, and it was a 0 lot line. So the houses were so close together.
Okay.
So according to the plans...
Oh, I see. Because if one starts on fire, you have to be protected from the other. Okay. You do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe. Are you there? I'm going to try it again.
Hello, caller.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Say, Joe, the house we're living in now, we bought in 2000, but it was built in 1990. And soon after I moved in, we had kind of a windy thunderstorm, and I had roofing material in the backyard. And I found out that the roof they were using staples back then.
Yep.
When did they change the law that you had to use nails, which should have been done to begin with? But it happened that way, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when that code changed to change things around.
After Andrew.
Yeah. But I'm not sure when. Was that 2006?
I don't remember.
But, yeah, that was a common practice to use staples to hold shingles on. And the staples hold pretty good, but when that wind does get in, as shingles get brittle, as they age, they separate. They don't have the stick isn't there. So that
Yeah.
tar gets older and starts to separate, and that allows the wind to get under. Once the wind gets under, it'll pull them right off, and that's when storms happen. You'll have like a tab, a couple tabs will blow off if it's not terrible,
Yeah.
or else the whole shingle's blowing off. So
Andrew was hurt,
If by
1992.
chance the shingle is in pretty deep and the roof has been stapled down, is there any way that it could be nailed down to secure it in the future for a few more years?
no, that I can't see or imagine any way that could be a retro.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No, because in order to do that,
you got it laid down there with nails or whatever, you're pretty well. That's what you got.
right. In order to do that, you'd have to pull up each tab because the tabs cover the nails, the nails of the shingles. So that way, there's no nails ever visible. Not supposed to be any nail heads visible. And what also happens, over time, those sometimes those nails will work their way back up through, and that's why it's good to inspect your roof every so often. To make sure that you don't have nail heads coming up through, or if your roof was put on with staples will start to backing back out too. So, it's good to check them.
That the architectural roof is probably the best roof to have here with the wind situation. Do you have an idea what the longevity of a roof like that would be down here, about maybe 20, 30 years maybe?
Well, and that really depends on the individual shingle that you're looking at. Typically they say that you can buy a roof that it has different year warranties, and with the heat and different weather conditions, sometimes that warranty is as much as half of what they say, or 10 years less than what they say. So it depends. There again, the quality. You can buy a shingle. Sometimes they've got ones that have 50-year warranties with them. So and more even. The better quality, and they're a thicker shingle, and they'll last a lot longer.
Right. I know for myself, the next time I put a roof on either this house or another one, it's going to definitely be metal.
A lot of times people go to that just because of they don't have to worry about it, and you can just paint that metal if you ever wanted to change the color. Or it starts to, sometimes in the sun, the direct sun, that metal will oxidize, and it starts to fade. So you can just paint it, and you have a brand new looking roof again. But it will last you pretty much forever.
Considered lifetime, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Very good, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for the call. The phone line is open if you want to call Joe. The number is 622-9622. If you have a do-it-yourself or a bigger job than you can do yourself, or maybe just a remodeling thing. It's not. Maybe it's got nothing to do with.
Well, one of the jobs that the guys are working on today, we started work on the Starbucks building downtown. Downtown Ocala.
Oh, the upstairs part?
Well, we're working on the exterior right now. We're replacing some of the doors on the outside and cleaning up the doors going into Starbucks. The actual entrances to those, will be restaining those and making a nicer look.
Which
to the
is good to
outside.
hear, because we were a little worried they were moving out. There was a rumor, but I think it was just a rumor.
There are rumors flying around.
Yeah, but they're not moving out, right?
Not that I know of.
We all love Starbucks.
Well, it's a great location. If they did, I'm sure that would, another coffee shop would move in there. I'm sure.
Used to be a jewelry store. Do you remember that? No, that was
I
before.
don't remember that. And it was a coffee shop before it was Starbucks, I guess, too, and it sat empty for a couple years or a little bit.
I think you're right. I think it was a little deli or something. Yeah.
So when we get back from the break, I'll talk all about what we're doing at that job.
I can't wait. We'll take that break now. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident for today. Intervals of clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon, the high 90 to 94. There'll be a shower and thunderstorm left over during the evening hours, then partly cloudy overnight, low 71 to 75. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with a thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 91 to 95. Thursday, partly sunny again, an afternoon thunderstorm, high 91 to 95. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
In 1870, federal legislation established July 4th as a national holiday. The Voice of South Marion wants to remind you of the freedom that it represents. Have fun and enjoy all the celebrations, but remember to keep it safe. Don't drink and drive, auto or boat. Be careful with fireworks and never allow youngsters to be unsupervised. Make this holiday one to remember for all the fun. Happy Independence Day from all of your friends at the Voice of South Marion.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services. When your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements, from damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking: will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
In 1870, federal legislation established July 4th as a national holiday. The Voice of South Marion wants to remind you of the freedom that it represents. Have fun and enjoy all the celebrations, but remember to keep it safe. Don't drink and drive, auto or boat. Be careful with fireworks and never allow youngsters to be unsupervised. Make this holiday one to remember for all the fun. Happy Independence Day from all of your friends at the Voice of South Marion. All right, 12 minutes before 11 o'clock, Joe Reichel is here from Damage Control Services. Your calls are an important part of the show, so if you want to call Joe with a question or a comment, the number is 622-9622. We'll give you the Damage Control phone number, of course, toward the end of the show. It was interesting when we looked up Hurricane Andrew just to see the date. This other stuff came up about the building codes in Florida, how they changed because of that storm.
Yeah, because of the storm, they the purpose of building codes is to keep, not only to have quality buildings, but to make sure that these are enforced. These laws are enforced to make sure that they're built that way, and that you don't have people putting, roofs on, shingles on with nail or with staples, because it's not according to code anymore. So, that's why, you have different inspections that are done, and that's why these things were enforced or put into place and now enforced.
Is there a quick fix? I know you want to talk about the Starbucks. Is there a quick fix for a slamming door, a door that just always seems to close a little too fast? How do you slow it down?
Put a spring hinge on it.
A spring hinge, is that expensive?
No.
Just buy it and put it on?
Yeah, it'll
just go to Lowe's and say I need a spring hinge?
I think it'll slowly close it. You can adjust them for the close ratio.
All right, that was for me. I needed that one.
There you go.
A question from me about my door that slams.
Is that an exterior door?
Yeah. Here, the door to the house.
I think, is it, do you typically use your right hand or your left hand?
My right hand.
Use your left hand. I'm serious.
You think that's what it is?
Yes. I do. And here's why. You're typically going through the door. You have a subconscious motion. You're you're letting the door go. If you use a different hand,
Right.
you've got to think about it. You're going to close the door softer than you would typically with your other hand. That's just I think it would work. You should try it. All right, so the Starbucks
Tell me about
building.
Starbucks, yeah. Tell me about
Starbucks building. We're doing some pressure washing on the outside. There's cleaning things up around there, spraying, pressure washing the awnings, putting a new awning on the door that goes to the upstairs of Starbucks, and then replacing one wooden door, one metal door, and then cleaning up the 4 doors that go into Starbucks and putting new stain and paint.
I've never been upstairs. I know you posted
Right now it's
photos.
just empty.
What was there? Well, what will be there?
Well, there used to be a club up there, and the
Club?
owner's a nightclub.
Really?
Fired Up was the name of it. And
Must
the
have
building,
been a small club.
It was on 2 floors, so I don't think it was that small.
Oh, you mean what we know as Starbucks was also part of the club?
No, it was on the 2nd and 3rd floor.
Oh, there's 3 floors in that
That's
building.
a 3-story building.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there. It has the the older brick
Yeah, it's a nice
on
building.
the inside,
Yeah, yeah.
and so it's pretty cool. But they're going to they're working to this is all to be figured out yet, but they want to get it rentable so that they can have commercial in there.
Interesting.
Be commercial space.
Nice. So they're gonna. So do they own that building? The Starbucks own that building?
No, the Starbucks just rent it.
Oh, okay.
They've got the owners live in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Great couple. So we're working with them, and they've got some people that are working with them that want to rent the building, and they're working through that. So we're gonna probably, if it works out as far as the inside, we'll be building it to suit for them as far as what they need to make it happen.
Nice.
So right now it's just
Do you
the
do everything?
outside.
I mean, right from the very first nail to the final painting. Do you do everything?
We can do as much or as little as homeowners or the owner of the building wants.
When you paint, do you typically use brushes or do you spray it on nowadays?
Depends what we're painting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if a lot of times that people will have the like the interior of a house sprayed, and then they'll come back and paint with do the touch-up paint with the trim and
You
stuff.
looked at these walls because
But you could paint the trim.
you sprayed these walls.
These
didn't you?
walls were sprayed in here, but trim will typically you can get a spray coat of exterior or interior trim. You can
Right,
spray it,
right.
and then you'll come back and you'll brush it as it's in place. So it really depends what it is, and
Oh, really?
yeah. But spray will give you a nice even coat, and you won't have the lines like you will with a brush or a ruler. You won't have the marks. But then it really depends on what you're painting and what you want the finished product to look like.
Do the area you grew up in Pennsylvania?
I did.
Okay, so this is the time. Now, here in Florida, we've already had the patio furniture out probably for a few months already.
Right.
But I'm guessing that, like, if it's anything like New York, this is about the time, 4th of July weekend, people start bringing out the patio furniture. And the one thing I remember as a kid was, if you weren't careful, some of those is it lattice or what? They make those chairs with the woven seats. They will
not
have
lattice, but yes.
dry rotted.
Right.
Yeah, what is that stuff called? Whatever that stuff is.
I don't know. Lattice is the cross.
Right. So that's what it looks
yeah.
like.
Right.
But that's
like
not what
that,
it
yeah.
is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It'll dry rot.
It will.
It'll come through. So I remember that, I don't know whose dad, but somebody's dad when I was a kid would brush on some kind of a moisturizing thing for the winter before he put it away. And then in the summer, when he would bring it out, everything would be fine. And he'd be the only guy that didn't have to replace his seats.
Winterization for your lawn chairs.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever heard of that?
I have
Some
not.
kind of oil or something?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that stuff dry rot. That's why a lot of people now use the plastic, the plastic chairs, and even those will get old and brittle. So.
Yeah. What are they called? The Adirondack chairs.
Yep. If you're using a wood furniture, I mean, you've got to continually coat that and treat it, because the sun and whatnot will take that wood and cause splinters, and it'll dry out
So I
and
get
crack.
the
So
plastic
it really,
one.
well, and plastic too will get old and brittle.
That's true too.
So I mean,
It'll collapse under you.
so I guess the helpful tip is, if you're taking out your furniture, your lawn furniture for this weekend's adventures, make sure that you're
Make sure you don't fall through.
checking it over. Was that where we were going with this? Because that was that was a surprise. I don't know where we were going with lawn furniture.
Well, it's the home repair thing.
Okay.
We have people who have do-it-yourself questions, and
That's what you do with your.
I thought somebody might have that question. What do I do if my lawn chair has? is weak?
And there again, we've got several projects where we've done refinishing of decks and whatnot. So, I mean, that.
Well, that'd be a nice thing. That would be a really nice thing.
Lawn chairs. Decks are one of my favorite projects because they really enhance the
nice
exterior of
idea.
a home, and
Yeah.
they create an awesome place to hang out and enjoy the outdoor space.
Would it be feasible or even recommendable to have an elevated deck, even if your front door or whatever door isn't really elevated? Like you have a deck, you go out your front door, then you have to go up the stairs to get to your deck. I think I'd like an elevated deck more than a ground level deck.
And that's where if you have an above ground pool or something like that, it would make sense to
That
do
would be
that.
nice, yeah.
I think mainly it would really depend how it was laid out, if that would look good in that area. I don't see anything wrong with it.
So do you ever have anybody just call you, look, I don't need any repairs, I just want a deck. Do you have that?
We've had people that want decks built. Yes, we've built decks for people.
I should have a deck.
Decks are nice. I like them.
Just how big would a good deck be? How many square feet?
It depends how many people you want on it.
13 people.
Well, that's an odd number. But I mean, if you had a 10 foot by 10 foot deck, that's 100 square feet.
Oh wow!
So that's not
too many
very
people.
big.
Right?
No,
yeah.
that's
tiny.
smaller than your typical living room.
Right. That's
a typical living room. You're looking at 14 by 16 feet, probably right in that area. So, figure out how many people you want, sitting around there, or what you want on the deck.
Right.
And what
making it strong enough so that people don't fall through it.
Two, what you're going to use the space for. So what are you going to have up there? Do you want to have a fire pit type thing, or do you just want to have chairs sitting up there? Figure out what you want in the space and then go from there.
Wow. Do you have a brochure
on decks? Here's the neat thing. If someone's looking for something, there are so many pictures on the internet of different things that people could have or ideas that they could build. If you had a question, hey, I want to build a deck, type in on, do an internet search on decks and just look for images and go from there.
Sure, get some ideas.
Yeah.
Or I'm guessing some of the big box stores, well, maybe not Walmart, but like Lowe's or Home Depot, they probably have some.
Yeah, they've got different
samples.
books. They've got books that you can purchase there too that are just about decks.
And how do you maintain the bottom of the deck? Do you actually go under it and apply paint to it, or some kind of a finish or something?
Well, it depends on the material that you use putting it together, if you'd have to even do anything at all. So, typically I'd recommend always using a pressure-treated lumber, and that's already has the treatment to it.
This is why I wouldn't do it myself. I mean, I might do it myself if you were there. Like, Larry, I'll just sit here and drink my tea, and you hammer this.
Sip on tea and watch you work.
Hammer this.
That doesn't sound like much fun.
Oh, really? You like getting hands-on?
Well, I wouldn't want to just sit around and watch you working. If you're going to be doing something, get involved. Roll up your sleeves and go to work.
It's how I fixed my brakes when I was younger. My dad knew how to change brakes.
Right.
I didn't know how, but
Right.
I would go to his place. I would sit next to the car. He'd be in his chair, and he'd be basically telling me what to do, and I would just do it.
Now you learn, and that's how you learned how to do it.
I sort of kind of know how to do it, but I wouldn't do it without help.
Without your dad sitting there sipping tea.
Without somebody knowing, yeah.
Well, that makes sense. I wouldn't even attempt it. Not brakes.
No, well, and now I wouldn't because there's nobody there to tell me anymore. But unless I go to Matt Gibbs or something.
So there's all kinds of different ideas, and somebody wants something.
So I could pay you just to stand there and tell me how to do it?
I guess you could.
Or you could join me and grab a hammer.
Grab a hammer and get to work. Roll up my sleeves and get dirty.
So the building codes changed from, just to get back to that Hurricane Andrew story. Right. Did they change from staples to a certain size of a nail?
Well, you have to use, there are certain types of nails, and it's a roofing nail. I mean, that's...
What pushes them out? You were saying earlier that sometimes they back the way out.
Well, there's a variety of things can do it. Just, it just happens. But Sometimes, too, it isn't in all the way, and as that shingle lays there and the weather hits it, it'll wear through if it's not down down in there solid. So, but anyway.
Have a good 4th of July.
Thank you. If you need my assistance, feel free to call 352-817-6574. That's my direct line. Or email me, joe@damageflorida.com.
Call us if you need that repeated, and my recommendation, get one of those magnet business cards.
I've got them right here.
Put it on your fridge.
Or get on our weekly email blog, where we give homeowners helpful tips and hints that they can use.
Thank you, Joe. This is WOCA Ocala. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. At least 3,000 emails from former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton expected to be released today from the State Department.
If the last go round is anything to go by.